What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we are doing the sad tale of the Chicago Bears deep dive for the 2022 to 2023 season. So if you guys are new, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube jazz. Without further ado, let's get right into this. It's not pretty. I'm just going to be honest. Starting off with the draft, we have starting off with Kyler Gordon, obviously first round pick, not exactly ours, right? That kind of sucks. Obviously not having a first round pick and giving that to the Giants when it's a top 10 pick hurts a lot. But you're getting Kyler Gordon, solid corner. I think he fits the scheme well. Jaquan Brisker, I was a huge fan of that one, honestly, big fan. Velus Jones was a reach. He's 25 years old. I guess you're really desperate to have an actual game-changing weapon. When you're desperate, I guess you're not trying to think about what happens if they hit, because that second contract is going to be when he's like 29, 30 years old. Then we went to Braxton Jones. I thought that was a very solid pick overall. Dominique Robinson was, he's a high ceiling player. But you got Zach Thomas in there. It's all right. Tristan Ebner has been taking some good reps in there. Doug Kramer, good depth. I love Jatire Carter, though, and I'm going to be making a video about this on my TikTok. Link in the description. Yes, I do a TikTok now for the show, and we have exclusive content over there, so please check it out. I was a huge fan of Jatire Carter. Love his drive. He was great at the Senior Bowl. Even when he had bad reps, he ended up like just beating himself up over it. Huge fan. Elijah Hicks good as well. Overall, it wasn't a bad draft at all. Again, I gave it a B. Just if you had a top 10 pick, that would have mattered a lot more. So let's slide right into the roster here. And let's look at the quarterback. Again, we use spottrack.com because they're really good at breaking down contracts, but they put positions by alphabetical order rather than by the normal system that we usually look at. Justin Fields, a lot of people have been saying Bustin Fields. He hasn't really had enough support around him to develop, and kind of sucks. We don't even really have an offensive coach anymore. So quick disclaimer, I still am technically a Bears fan. I was raised a Steelers and Bears fan, and I've kind of become a football fan for this show because I don't like biases. Makes no sense, to be honest, but I hope Justin can continue to develop. I thought it was a great move at the time. I still think it was. Like, you're taking a shot on a pretty young kid with a big arm who can run very fast. So as long as he gets his processing down, he'll be better. Again, it's a little bit worrisome that he hasn't performed well, but you have a good backup in Trevor Siemian, who beat Tom Brady last year. Nathan Peterman he's a god. So, it's a solid quarterback room given our understanding that it's actually not that good. It's better than what people think. You got David Montgomery here as your true RB1. Big fan of that. He's a very solid back. Not an elite back by any stretch of the imagination, but very solid nonetheless. Darrington Evans was a very nice pickup. I like that a lot. Again, a super dynamic scat back. And, without Tariq Cohen on this roster, yeah, that's something you need to do. Tristan Ebner, again, talked about him. Khalil Herbert's a really fun, good player. Nice pickup late on. So you have a good enough running back room. Again, just like the quarterback room, it's not good. It's just better than what people think. Wide receiver wise, this is where it gets rough. N'Keal Harry, who couldn't last on a team that has arguably the worst receiving core in the NFL, is here. So now we are the worst in the NFL. Velus Jones, nice weapon. But again, he's 25 years old as a rookie, for one. And number two, he's not that good. Again, he's a scat weapon. Like, he should have been a 5th round pick. He just ran fast. Darnell Mooney, obviously he's been a stud. Very happy to have him. But besides that, you're having a bunch of guys like David Moore, Dante Pettis, Tajay Sharp, who are just trying to make a roster. And it's kind of like, it's not good. Darnell Mooney is pretty much on an island here. You got Velus Jones who can do some things, but it's really Darnell Mooney and the rest, which sucks. Tight end wise, former 2nd round pick Cole Kmet, he's solid. Again, he's a solid tight end 2 in my opinion, not a true tight end 1. He still can develop into it, but I don't really trust it. My God, the hair's not a vibe right now, guys. Chase Allen, I thought, is an excellent backup tight end, though. You even got Ryan Griffin in here and James O'Shaughnessy. I think those are pretty solid. Like, you do have a deep tight end room, and you have good veterans there. Hopefully they continue to train Cole Kmet. because he has potential. Tackle wise, let's see. Let's see if they have a RT. They do not. Left tackle, the hell? I don't know why Dakota Dozier's in here, but Riley Reef, it's a good enough veteran, man. You're pretty desperate for tackle talent. But in the tackle group, Braxton Jones, Zach Thomas, Larry Borum. Larry Borum had a pretty good year. It's not looking great. Like, you better pray that Larry Borum can kick ass, because otherwise you guys are screwed. And Braxton, I've heard, has had some good camp. I'm a little bit worried about that. And did you guys? No, okay. Tevin Jenkins listed as a guard. So when I first studied him, I said this guy cannot be a tackle. He was like a third round tackle to me. I said he could be a Hall of Fame guard. I think that his power is unbelievable, and he can be like truly, truly, truly impactful inside. He's had some personality and injury concerns, which is why he fell in the first place. But man, I mean, it sucks to see like the Bears trying to shop him. But you got Jatire Carter in here as well. Love Jatire. Lucas Patrick. Man, it's not looking good for the Bears. Really sucks. You have Cody Whitehair, who's pretty damn solid. Sam Musford. You don't have Alex Bars anymore. I think that he's on like the Raiders or something. Like that sucks. You got Cody Whitehair here, who's 30 years old. Like, man, I remember when he was like a solid get in Madden because he was young enough to where he wouldn't regress, and he had a high overall. That's just, it's not looking good, guys. Not looking good at all. Let's look at the defensive side, building from the defensive line out. It took a big hit. Obviously, you don't have Akeem Hicks, nor do you even have who do we get for the second round pick? Khalil Mack, which sucks. Justin Jones, Kairos Tonga. I like Kairos Tonga. He's a beast. But I'm looking right here. I don't see any interior defensive linemen that I'm like overly excited about. That scares me. I thought they had better depth. I really did. Not a fan. Defensive end wise, Mario Edwards, he's good enough. He's good enough. Muhammad actually is pretty solid. I saw him make some good plays. So happy to see that. Dominique Robinson, Charles Snowden, both like freaky weird athletes that were both brought on. Snowden 6'7", so just a weird build. But it's not looking bright. The more I'm looking at this roster, the scarier it gets. And then looking at the linebackers, I'm just gonna be honest, guys. I'm not a fan of almost anybody that I've seen so far, like at all, and that scares the living hell out of me. You're looking at the price per year on these players, and that should just tell you how good they are. Like Riley Reef is probably one of the best players that we've talked about so far. That's not good. It's making me a lot more confident in what I've given to the Bears in terms of victories so far. Linebackers, obviously Roquan, the one piece that we got right is wanting out. Robert Quinn had a really good year last year, so I'm hoping that he can just continue it. He's getting old, so it's not looking too good. So again, it's really scary. You got Robert Quinn, Roquan Smith here. That's pretty much what your defense has in terms of its arsenal. I like Jack Sanborn. I thought he should have been drafted, but again, this is not looking good. You have two weapons in your front seven, and God only knows if you're going to have one of them. So again, just not. I know he said something about like, hey, I'm here to play. If I'm betting on myself, I'm taking my own risk. So thank God that he has that type of amazing character, that amazing motor. Otherwise, you'd be so screwed. Safety, you got Jaquan Brisker, who's a stud. Big fan of Jaquan. Jalen Jones, it's all right. Houston Carson, solid, nothing special. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. I know we got Eddie Jackson. He's probably in the free safety realm. Like, Eddie Jackson's a baller. So you have two good safeties. Nothing beneath them, but two good safeties. So you better pray that they stay healthy, because it's not looking good. Corner-wise, you have two corner twos, in my opinion. Kyler Gordon might be a corner three. I didn't really like him that much. I had a third on him. Jalen Johnson, I'm a huge fan of. I think I almost put him as my corner one that year. And, I'm a huge fan of Jalen Johnson. Still think he's a corner two. I don't think he has what it takes to be a true corner one, but, I really hope that he can continue to play at a high level. Elijah Hicks, again, solid. Kendall Vildor, Tavon Young is pretty solid as well. It's not looking good though. I'm looking at this, and Thomas Graham was a good pickup. Wait a second. Why is his contract so cheap? He actually balled out last year for a couple games, and that's kind of sad. He needs to get a bigger contract. If I were Thomas Graham, I would just say, like, dude, I'm going to a team that is desperate for a slot corner. So that's going to be that, guys. Let's jump right into the record prediction. I don't think this record's going to get much better. Starting off week 1 against a really good run heavy team, we're going to go there. Packers at Lambeau. I don't think there's much to talk about. I mean, even the damn Texans blow you guys out of the water. Like, let's just look at the team holistically here. Quarterback, you don't have it down yet because Fields hasn't developed. Running back, you don't really have a true RB1. This year's class might be able to help change that. A wide receiver, you have Darnell Mooney, who should not be in a number 1 role, playing a number 1 role, and that's it. Offensive line, you're Slim Pickens. You know, Larry Borum, if he can continue playing, that'd be great. Riley Reif is old, and he's probably not going to be as effective. Cody Whitehair is getting old as well. And then I don't even know if you're going to have Tevin Jenkins. I don't even have AlexCBarbour anymore. So the line is better than what I usually give it credit for, but that's not saying much. Defensive-wise, your defensive line is looking crap. It really is. You lost Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks. I think Eddie Goldman is also gone. So you lost, in my opinion, 3 of your 4 best players on defense. And then you have Roquan, and then 3 of your best 5, technically, because Roquan as well as Robert Quinn are the next 2. But, I mean, you really have one guy pass rushing, easy for an offensive coordinator to be like, okay, let's just play away from Robert Quinn here. And, let's just run in a direction away from Roquan, or, just run into Roquan and get 5 yards a carry. And then corner-wise, you have one really good corner, one who's super young, and then the rest like and then you have good safeties. So I think you're extremely vulnerable to the run. Extremely. And I think you're very vulnerable to the quick pass game, given the fact you have one linebacker. I mean, technically, I would feel a lot more comfortable on the outsides because I do believe in Jaquan, and I also believe in Eddie Jackson. So you at least are set there. But that's not saying much. Again, this team has Dameon Pierce, who is probably going to become a top-tier running back, given his performance so far. The Giants have a really good squad overall. Again, Daniel Jones is the big issue. The Vikings, they're powerful. Again, they're really good, and they have an offensive coach. Washington, I've taken enough games away from them. They have a lot of offensive firepower, and they have a good defense as well. They just haven't pieced it together. Patriots, Bill's going to screw with Justin Fields' head. Just going to be honest, and it's not good. Cowboys are pretty damn powerful, even if they're a shell of their previous self, still powerful. Dolphins are incredibly powerful. Same thing with the Lions, extremely underrated. Now, this game could be a victory by Chicago. Like, when you do look at it, both teams are just not good overall. I mean, the Falcons got Drake London in their first pick. I don't know if he's going to be back for this time because he is injury prone, but I mean, Cordero Patterson might have a field day, to be honest. Like, this one's a big toss-up for me. We're going to give it to the Bears because I'm not going to let them leave the season 0-17. But let's just be honest here. It's not looking good for them. The Packers, I thoroughly believe, will sweep you guys. You guys believe it too, deep down inside. Eagles are just a superpower. Same thing with the Bills. Lions at home, again, they're really good. And then you have the Vikings. So Falcons, you guys have the honor of being the one team that saves the Bears from an 0-17 record. You guys are pretty much square to be able to be put at number 1 overall, which I think you should use wisely on someone like Will Anderson or Miles Murphy. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.